AI copywriting and about newsletters as well, which is what most of the questions actually in this live Q&A have been focused on. If you've got any questions and you want to ask them, then all you need to do is join our community. We put quite an interesting poll up last week asking people why they weren't joining the community, what was stopping them, just so we could work out how we could help more. And some of the answers people were given included that they didn't believe that we would actually get back to them. That was one of the things people were voting for on that particular poll. So I just want to show you in this Q&A that you can actually access us, ask questions and get help. So you just come over to the community. The link is down in the description and on the homepage of the channel as well. Just come down to the live Q&A tab. You're going to see one of these posts go up quite regularly. You're just looking for the date. The questions need to be submitted by the Sunday, and then we can answer them for you the following week. So you can see, just look out for one of these and you can see we've got some questions here that I'm going to be going through. There are some rules for you to have a look at, and I'm reminding people of the rules as we go through. When we first start doing these, we've got 3 questions, or 4 technically here, that I'm going to answer in this live. But as we go on and more people are contributing, then we'll stick more firmly to the rules, which is just simple things like just 1 question per person, just so that everyone gets an opportunity to hear their answer. This isn't going to be flashy glitz and glamour video, anything like that. I'm just going to drill down, answer these questions for you. So as you can see here, this is the first question that I'm going to answer from Chris. He's actually put 2 questions in here, but I'm going to answer them both, as I said, because I just want to help as much as possible. As more people contribute, we will be sticking more to that particular rule. And I'll be giving you some pointers as I go through as well, just some useful information for us to have so we can help you as much as possible. It says here from Chris, it says, as a newbie in this industry, set up to launch my first newsletter, I have a couple of questions. I've nailed down my niche, which is awesome, Chris. Great to hear that you've done that. Chris has actually taken our free course here in our community on how we pick out and validate niches. So if you want to check that out, just go to the courses tab. That one's not going to be free forever, but it is free at the moment. It says, I've nailed down my niche. However, I would like to know what are some best practices or tools to assist with defining your target audience within your niche. For example, if your target audience is B2B, how can you determine your audience? If it's B2C, how can you determine your audience within your niche? For example, Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, etc. What tools can be utilized and how to use them? So this is a great question. Really important part, like once you know your niche, what exactly is your audience? Because that's where you're going to be wanting to promote your newsletter. You're going to be wanting to go to where your audience is and show them your newsletter so that they will, excuse me, want to subscribe to it. So there's a couple of things that you can do here, Chris, and anybody can do in order to validate the target audience. And the first thing I would be recommending is doing some competitor research. This can very, very simply be, if you know there are other newsletters out there in your niche, it would be a case of going out, finding those newsletters and finding out a little bit of information about them. Excuse me. So if you have a newsletter and you know, okay, so let's say you've got a newsletter X and you would go out and you would find their social media accounts and you would go and see where are they posting and where are their biggest following. Which particular platforms are they doing really well on? And you wouldn't want to just go to one competitor. You'd want to go to 2, 3, or 4 of them and just find which particular platforms they are posting on the most. And that's going to give you a little bit of an idea of where your audience is and what kind of demographic they are. The other thing that you can do with this as well is you can use AI tools. You can use ChatGPT and you can use Gemini, which was barred as well. Now, if you're using ChatGPT, then the free version of ChatGPT is not going to work for this. And the reason for that is because you don't have access to current data. So if you're going 100% free with your research, then I would recommend Gemini. So here I am on Gemini, And what you're looking for is you're looking to do competitor analysis. And I would just go into Gemini and I ask it to do full competitor analysis on a competitor. So that I pick Morning Brew here because it's a big newsletter. I've asked for a detailed breakdown, and I've asked for a couple of things on the audience that I want Gemini to focus on. And as you can see, it's gone through and it's done a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it's able to pick out some of that information for me. So it's gone for young professionals. It's given me an age. It's given me a little bit of information about what they're interested in. And then what I can do from this is I can ask for more detail on a particular point. So I might ask it, to break this part down even more, or give me some suggestions of where I might find this particular audience. And as you can see, it's given me some competitors. So again, I can ask it to do a competitor analysis on one of these other competitors, and that will slowly help me build up who my customer avatar is. Your customer avatar is who is the person that your newsletter is talking to. Okay, now when you're using Gemini, when you're using ChatGPT, they can hallucinate, can lie a little bit about what's going on. So you've got this button down here where you can double check any of these responses in Google and just validate that the information is correct. But then I could go on, I won't do it now, but give some more questions, break things down, and get some more information. And then the last place, Chris, that I would be looking for is I would be looking at market research or reports. And you can find a lot of these very easily online. So if you want a market report on a particular industry, so then just Google that particular market and then put in the phrase market report or market research, and you will find those things broken down. If you've watched our last few videos on niches, we've shared with you some of those style of articles, sort of roundups of information within particular niches, and you can do exactly the same thing for audiences. It doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C, you'll be able to find the same kind of information. If it's B2B, you might be finding that information sort of on more professional networks. So for example, you might want to look on somewhere like LinkedIn, for example, but generally you can find everything that you want on Google. Just give Google the, as I said, the niche that you're going after. Probably put in the word audience report or audience analytics or audience market report and see what Google brings back to you. And if you use a combination of those, looking at your competitors, where are they hanging out? Where are they posting content in order to find their audience? Then combine that with marketing reports and AI, then those things will help you find out exactly who your audience is. The other way is just to start putting out your own content, which you should be doing anyway. So once you've got an idea, put out your own content on these social media platforms, and all of these platforms have their own analytics in the back end. So for example, on our YouTube channel, we can see the demographic of our audience and who our videos are resonating with because we put content out. So once you've drilled that down, start putting out your own content, and you can even use things like Google Analytics once you start putting out your own newsletter in order to help you refine that information a little bit more. So hopefully that helps with that one, Chris. The second question you've got here is once your first issue of your newsletter is ready to launch and you have 0 subscribers, what are the best tools for organic growth and how to use them? So if you've done your competitor research well, okay, then I'm just going to put organic growth here. If you've done your competitor research well, then you'll already know where your audience is and where they are hanging out. So what you can do then is you can start with some social media marketing. Okay, you want to get onto social media. You do want to start your own social media accounts for your newsletter, but you also want to be going into onto other people's social media accounts and promoting as well. So you don't have to do everything from a branded account. So Reddit is a good place to look for people that are interested in your newsletter. Quora is another place that you can go and look. X, formerly Twitter, is another place. And the reason that these are great places is that they are primarily looking social media accounts that focus on written content. And if you're doing a newsletter, then people who are reading content they enjoy to consume written content are more likely to subscribe to your newsletter. So I'm not saying don't create videos or anything like that, but do remember the medium that you are promoting, your newsletter. People that like to read newsletters, you want to find out where they hang out on other platforms that have a lot of written content. So just don't discard these places. But if you've done your competitor research first, you'll know where your competitors are putting their written content. Once you have got your brand accounts set up, and also the Facebook groups, the TikTok pages people are following, whatever it is, then you want to start to put out good quality content. Okay, you need to put out a huge amount of value, and you want to over deliver as well, which is exactly what you're going to do within your newsletter. And the best way for you to attract people into your newsletter is what we're talking about on the channel at the moment, which is lead magnets. And when I say the best way, I mean the best free organic way. Now, this might be taking some content, and you've used AI to create this. 100% use AI. And you're putting that up onto Quora or Reddit as a post, and then you're leaving something in there that says, if you want more, check out my newsletter. Or you're packaging this into something like a video course, or you're packaging it into a PDF or an ebook, and you are putting that out on social media for people to take a look at. Now, if you're going into other people's Facebook groups and things like that, you've got to be really careful how you're doing this, because otherwise you're going to get yourself banned. But as I said, this is what we're going to be talking about in February on the content on our YouTube channel and within our community as well. So there's loads more coming with that. But that's what you want to do with organic growth. The other one you've got, which is in a lot of these platforms, like Beehive, is things like doing referral programs. So referring people, so getting those subscribers, I should say, to refer your newsletter. And then the other one is to start with networking. So get on people's podcasts, do a exchange with other influencers. So find people who have got not necessarily newsletters, but social media accounts that are quite small, and say, hey, I'll promote you to my audience if you promote me to your audience. Now, you're going to want to wait, and obviously until you have got some subscribers, so go with the lead magnets and things first. Get onto some very small podcasts, though, and share your knowledge, share value for free, and then you'll get your subscribers. But it's all about over delivering with free content, so that people think, oh my goodness, if this free content is so good here, then the newsletter is going to be amazing. And then start building up a network so that you can start doing that exchange of value with other people that are out there that have, producing content in exactly the same niche as you. Okay, so hopefully that's useful, Chris. If you've got any more questions, you want to drill down on it, we'll put up another Q&A post and you can comment on that and we'll help you out. Not a problem at all. Then we're going to go into this question here by David. David says, my question would be how to pitch or structure an offer to write newsletters as a service to potential clients with an audience. Okay, now this is something we are going to be talking about in March. If people are interested in finding clients that they want to offer newsletters as a service for. So if you're interested in that, do consider subscribing to the channel, because as I said, it won't be long till we start covering that kind of content. But what I am going to say about a service, I'm going to have to make a few assumptions here. And this is one of the things I will say, if you're going to comment on our Q&A post, just try and give us as much detail as possible. But what I would say is, I'm going to assume that you're not talking about how to attract clients, and you're not talking about outreach. And I'm going to assume that the leads you've got here are already warm. So you've got somebody in mind, or you've got a client that you're already talking to, and you're just talking about the pitch. Okay. Now, if you want to get a client on board and you've got no prior experience, then you're going to want to do a couple of things. You're either want to get some proof, which means you're going to want to start your own newsletter and show that you can do what you say you can do. Now, you don't have to get to thousands of subscribers to do that, but you're going to want to show people Beehive, how it works, what you can do, your click-through rates, your open rates, the fact that you're getting subscribers. You know, if you're talking to a local business like a beautician's, for example, the fact that you've got 75 subscribers on a list and they could get 75 repeat customers on a list, that's a lot of potential revenue for them. So don't think you've got to get proof with thousands of people. But what you're going to be able to do as well, if you start your own newsletter, is you're going to be able to talk about all of this very, very comfortably with a client. If you're not going to do that, then you're going to have to offer to do something for free, a little bit of work for free, to show that you actually can do what you say you can do. So I'm going to assume that you actually have some proof that you can start your own newsletter, and you want to go straight in with paying, and the warm is, so the lead is warm. The first thing I want you to do is you need to be flexible, and you need to be bespoke. You need to be able to set up a pitch that is going to work for the client. And what I would always recommend is you want to get on a call. You want to talk to this potential client. You want to find out what their pain points are. What are their goals that they want to achieve, so that you can put together a pitch that's going to work for them specifically. Now, if you want to have an idea of kind of things that you could go to a business owner or somebody who is a creator and that you want to start a newsletter for them, then because you said in your post here, you've said for offer to write newsletters, I'm just going to focus on that, because you could do growth strategies, you could do monetization strategies, you could do the whole thing, you could do setting up Beehive. There's lots you could do with this, which is why we're going to talk about it a lot over all of March. Your options are, you could give them a package, okay? And that might be a package of 20 newsletters, or it might be a package of 4 months of newsletters, and then that would be for a certain amount of money. So you're packaging in this and you're just going to give it to them. So it might be that you give them 20 Word documents. That's what they actually end up buying from you. And then it's their responsibility to put that onto Beehive and get the newsletters scheduled and those kind of things. And you could then talk to them about that as an additional service or an upsell later on. So that's one option, is a packet of newsletters. The one that is going to make you more money in the long run would be some kind of retainer. So for X amount of money a month, you will do, let's say, 4 newsletters for them a month, and then you would offer to do that over a period of time. And it might be that you offer it to do it over 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, and then you would offer more value for the longer that they sign up for. So you might say something like, if you want to do this for 3 months, it's X amount, but I can knock off 20% off that price if you sign up for 6 months, and I can knock 25 or 30% off that price, monthly price, if you do it for 12 months. So, you know, or you sign up for 12 months, I'll charge you what the equivalent for 10 months. So you get 2 months free. So that will give you that nice, stable, recurring income. But again, you want to get it on a call with the potential client and figure out what would be better for them. And there's no reason why you couldn't say either or, and see what they would prefer. The monthly retainer is probably going to be better for them in a way, because it's going to allow them to spread the cost, whereas the package deal, they're going to have the money up front in order to be able to pay you. But again, with the package deal, you can change it. You could say, you know, for 10 newsletters, it's this amount. Sorry, it's this amount. but if you want 20 newsletters, I'll actually charge you for 16 or 18. So they're saving a little bit of money, but you're making more money overall. What you need to make sure you're doing with a service is that the return on the investment is there for them. The return on the investment is going to be one of two things. It's going to be time. So the fact that by paying you to do it, they're saving money because their time is freed up to be doing other things. So if they're a business owner, they're going, well, it's going to take me absolutely ages to learn how to do this, write everything, whereas you're going to do it for a very reasonable price. And then I'm going to be able to focus on my job, which is going to free me up with time. Or the other thing that it's going to be able to do is it's going to be able to save them money. And again, it's the same kind of idea. Okay, you're able to do it in a very, very affordable way for them, which is going to save them money or help them make more money overall. Okay, but it's the idea is to be able to free up time for them, or you're going to be able to make them more money in the end. So before you go in with any kind of pitch, just be really clear on what your ROI is for that particular business owner, so that you can make that really, really clear to them. Our last question then for this particular Q&A is Eric's question down here. And he says, how many subscribers to your newsletter should you consider, if at all, based on the niche? Would you consider charging for access? Okay, so with this one, Eric, I would say you don't have to wait at all. Okay, you could start charging from day one. And the reason for that is because you can have a free and then you can have premium access to your newsletter. Now, this might be that the best information is in the premium and you give a little bit of information out for free. It might be early access. So if people, for example, are in the crypto niche and they want early access to airdrops, then people that pay for the premium get that information. With crypto, it might be just a couple of days or a week before. With other niches, it might be a few weeks or a few months before. But what people are paying for is that early access, or that those insights that you can provide that they don't want to go away and find for themselves. They don't have the time, or they don't know where to find that information. So there's no reason why you couldn't start that from day one. The only reason you might want to wait is if you are testing out an idea. Now, that might be testing out a newsletter. You just want to see if your idea is going to work and if you can actually get some subscribers. So you might just want to go free. So there's no resistance to signing up from your audience. It's just to test out that idea, test out lead magnets, see what kind of things work, double check you know where your audience is, and just focus on giving away amazing value and get people signed up. Then you might want to say, right, I'm going to get my first 100 subscribers, keep everything for free, prove to myself I can do this, validate the niche, validate that I am putting my effort in the right place. And then once you've got your first 100 subscribers, the other thing you can do within these platforms is you can use polls. You can start talking to your audience, because you might think, oh, I'm going to charge for market insights, but actually your audience might prefer something else. I saw a great example of this week on Instagram. There was a creator that I was following. He puts out parenting advice for parents. He put a poll up and said he was going to be doing a paid workshop for his audience. He gave 4 options. What do you want this workshop to be on? He had in his mind what he wanted to do, but overall, vast majority of people voted for something else. And this is actually something he was saying up in one of his follow-up reels. He was saying, I was going to make this course for you, but actually you all want something else. So by having a free version of your newsletter, focus on getting those first 100 subscribers, validate your idea, validate your lead magnets, then poll your audience within your newsletter, find out what they really want, what they paid for, and then you know from your audience what they want, and then you can validate for sure that you are charging them for the right kind of content, what they really want, and then you know that you're more likely to have people buying from you because you have checked with your audience already that that is the thing that they are willing to pay for. And polls are a really great way of finding out who is your audience, what are they interested in, what are their pain points, what do they want more of from you, what do they want less of from you, and you can validate all of that. We do it all the time on our community tab on the YouTube channel. We could do it inside client newsletters as well, and you should be doing it within your newsletter too. So that's the questions for this week answered. If you are interested in getting more help from us, then you can see here within our community, you can join our chats and ask questions there. You can comment on our live Q&A thread if you want us to go through things in more detail in a live like this. And you can DM us as well within the community and talk to us there. If you're interested in our free content, our best stuff is here in the community too. We have a knowledge hub, we have courses. Just join the community. It is free. At some point we will be moving over to a paid model, but right now everything is completely for free. So come in, get access to everything, go in the knowledge base, download the custom GPTs and all those kind of things, and get involved, ask your questions, and join a community here of people that are trying to grow AI copywriting businesses and grow newsletters online.